Census report released by the Ghana Statistical Service, which puts the percentage of households with access to basic drinking water services nationwide at 87.7%. According to the report, urban population with access to basic water supply services is 96.4%, last year's value being 92%, and 74.4% in the rural areas. Indeed, these figures reflect the massive investment by government in the water sector, which is geared towards bringing improved water services to the doorsteps of the people of Ghana. So I can start my PowerPoint now, Madam. Yes. The outline will be the introduction which I've given, the performance in the water subsector, interventions in the urban water and rural water, and Water Resources Commission, what they've been doing in water resources management, and the performance in the sanitation subsector, the interventions in the sanitation subsector, and our conclusion. The Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources exists to ensure the quality delivery of water, sanitation, and hygiene services, and also activities of the water and environmental sanitation sectors to ensure efficient and productive use of resources. Interventions being carried out by the ministry and its agencies are social in nature and underpinned by the vision and mission of the ministry, the sustainable development goal of attaining water and sanitation for all, and as I've said, leaving no one behind. Water delivery has seen remarkable improvements, as I have reported, and these figures reflect, as I've said, the massive investments by government in the sector. These interventions in the water subsector are expected to add over 5 million beneficiaries to the national water supply chain. It is here 4.3. But when you round up everything, including rural water, we'll be getting the 5 million. Government is determined to provide each region with at least one water supply project through the Water for All agenda. His Excellency the President cut the sword in 2020 for the construction of 8 major water supply projects, and all of these are at various stages of implementation. The list is as follows: Upper East Water Supply Project, Yendi Water Supply Project, Tamale Water Supply Project, Damango Water Supply Project, Wenchi Water Supply Project, Sunyani Water Supply Project, Keta Water Supply Project, and Sekendi Takrade Water Supply Project. I'll touch each one of them to let you know at what stage it is. The project for Upper East Water has been substantially completed, and it is due for commissioning, as mentioned by His Excellency the President during the SONA address. And you can see from the pictures the inception of the project up to the middle when they were doing all these structures, bringing them up, and then you see pictures of the connecting clarified water tanks with filters and the low lift pump station. And then to your right, you have the completed water treatment plant. All the booster stations and the elevated tanks have been completed. With regard to Keta water, we've done the value for money audits. The site acquisition for water treatment plant and intake is completed. Contractors are on site and construction is currently ongoing. In fact, they've even finished the staff bungalows. The project is expected to be completed in December 2023 as scheduled. We have done field site visits, and you can see that in our presentation. Tamale Water Supply Project. This Tamale Water Supply Project happens to be the biggest water project ever undertaken by this government. is going to give us 135,000 cubic meters per day. And the original one, which has its intake from the Dalong River, is 30,000 cubic meters per day, and also constructed by the NPP government under former President John Agyekum Kufuor. The loan agreement has been signed, value for money has been done, and the audit has been done to pave the way for commencement of the project. The development phase has been completed. Damango water, I'll call it the water project. Currently, the development phase, which includes the detailed engineering design, has been completed, and the loan agreement has been signed. Value for money audit has been completed for the commencement of the project. Very soon, the contractors will go and occupy the site. Yendi water supply project. Preparation of detailed project report and final tender document for the rehabilitation and upgrading of the potable water system have been completed. We are waiting the shortlisted companies from the Indian Exim Bank so as to initiate the procurement of the contractor to undertake the construction of the water supply system. I know this is of immense concern to His Excellency the President and our Overlord Diana. We pledge to do all we can to expedite action on the water supply project. Preliminary designs are ongoing, and the contractor, they are on site, and they are clearing the site to start the project. Value for money audit has been completed. Secondly, Takoradi water supply to sites. Sunyani water supply project. The loan agreement has also been signed, value for money audits completed, and development phase has also been completed. Very soon, I'm sure the contractor will go to site. Rural water supply, that finishes the urban water systems. We are now on rural water supply. Similar to urban subsector, the government has also initiated several projects within the rural water subsector under the Water for All agenda. This is to ensure that the population within the rural water space also have access to sustainable water supply services. We have the 5-district water supply projects by Strabag, which is the phase 3. We also have the Ghana-Spain debt swap for development program. We also have the rural communities and small towns water supply project, and also the rehabilitation of some small towns and community pipe schemes by CWSA under the reform program. The progress of work. The project is expected to benefit about 222,075 people in the Central Tong, North Tong, Ho West Adaklu, and Agotime Zupe districts. The project will cover 183 communities. The construction is ongoing, and the project is expected to be completed by December 2022. Excuse me. Excuse me. I had to dab mine. As you can see, the progress of works for the Strabag water supply project is on the screen. Yes. We have, under the Ghana-Spain debt swap development program, 4 out of 6 limited mechanized systems have been completed, with 3 installed with iron removal plants. You know, some of our boreholes have, or water aquifers have iron and other trace minerals, so we need to remove them before we can serve the people with the potable water. In addition, 5 out of 12 small town systems have also been completed, with 2 installed with iron removal plants. The remaining plants are at various stages of completion. We have the rural communities and small towns water supply projects. Sites verification has been finalized and community engagement completed. Draft concept designs on the small water pipe systems to be constructed, and then the detailed information on water quality of the point sources have been completed and forwarded to Community Water and Sanitation Agency for their study and consideration. The project, when completed, will benefit about 282,000 people. The project, under the rehabilitation of some small towns and community pipe schemes by CWSA under the reform program. Rehabilitation of the MIM and the Yeji. MIM is in the Ahafo region, Yeji is in the Bono East region. The water systems will be completed in July 2022. I'll briefly touch on a few challenges that we are facing. And I must say, the biggest and the most, if I may say, serious challenge is this phenomenon of galamsey, or illegal mining on our river bodies. This has created huge problems for our water systems. And our concern, I must stress, is that if we are borrowing close to $1 billion to do projects, and the raw water sources are contaminated, polluted, and the machines will be drawing in mud, where are we going, and what do we want to do with our water bodies? We have our own people mining within in the river bodies and in the buffer areas, and this must stop. I am told and briefed that the regional security, RECSEC, they are on top of this issue. Very soon, we will take some of you with us to go and find out the progress of work. But this needs to stop. We also have the challenge of intermittent power supply, and this is because anytime the power is off, our machines go off, and it takes us time to also get to work when the power is restored. We have obsolete electromechanical equipment that we are trying to replace and work on them. Old distribution and transmission pipelines. For those of us who are younger than 60 years, who are below the age of 60 years, some of these pipelines were laid 65 years ago, 60 years ago, and we need to replace them. We also have old distribution and, yes, I've said that. And we have old meters that give us wrong reading. Now we have installed bulk meters to give us the quantum of water we produce so that we can account for. We have the phenomenon of non-revenue water, which was as high as 54% in 2017. Now they've worked hard, Ghana water company has worked hard to reduce it to 45%. We're expecting more reductions. It means within the period, we're able to reduce it by 9%, MD, yes. So we have that as a challenge. We also have the challenge of illegal connections. And this is a very serious issue. Yesterday, a resident of East Legon was caught red-handed. He had connected 2 big pipes into our main line and had denied the whole catchment area of water. When he was apprehended and the pipes were disconnected, immediately water started flowing in people's homes. But the most serious aspect of this crime is that people whom he had denied water through the illegal connection were buying water from him. He was selling water to them. Illegal connection, illegally selling water without permits. So I think they are handling that issue, and he will surely be handed over to the police. And I hope he will pay up for the number of years or months he had wrongly done, yes. And then also I have proposed that we start very soon doing a house-to-house audit of the water we use in our homes, so that those of us who have been denied water by others can have the water flowing. We also have the encroachment on our water supply infrastructure. And this is as a result of all these illegal mining and also people farming close to the catchment area that we have installed our systems. We also have the sand and stone winning, especially at the Dalong headworks and Wager headworks. I think we all saw the trip we made on the Wager area. It's on the screen. People were cutting stone and sand from the buffer that we had erected to protect the Wager water system. I must also stress that we have a serious issue at Daboase, Sechere, Odaso, and Wa. People have started even winning sand from the white and black vault rivers. If we do not stop this, very soon, that one is for sure, we will not have water to drink. So people, like the president said, we shouldn't be spectators, we should be citizens, active citizens, so that we can protect what God has endowed this country with. We are boasting that God has given us 53.2 billion cubic meters of surface water. Per arrangements with UNESCO, we are getting funding for quantifying the underground water we have. But what are we doing with the water? We are saying we are using only 14%. The rest is being destroyed, and we need to speak up and stop those people destroying our water bodies. We also have these introduction of fertilizers and pollutants, especially when they farm very close to the river bodies. These drain into the water bodies. We all have pictures of muddied water. So if we have to draw this water to treat, you can imagine the level of costs for treatment of the dirty, polluted water. Both left and right, to your right and left, they are both polluted. You have people, and these are Ghanaians standing there. You can't say they are not. If they are not, they have collaborators who are Ghanaians, and we must stop this. Another serious issue is the fact that some of these who carry out these nefarious acts have diverted the natural course of our river bodies. If I had been told like 5-10 years ago, I would have said maybe it will happen in a dream. But it's happening. People have the audacity to divert the Pra, the Ankobra, the Brim, just because they want money for themselves. Greed, inordinate greed, and that must stop. We are trying to put the rivers back to their normal places. But please, I'm pleading seriously with those who do that to stop. We have this one is Odaso. This one is the Pra, and then the Ankobra. It will be to your left and right. Here we have it on my right. Okay. Then we have the next picture at Odaso. This is the Ofeng. And then Osino, which is the Brim. I'll now move on to the specific interventions to address the challenges. We are replacing weak sections of the 1,050 millimeter, which is a 42-inch transmission pipeline from Kong water treatment plants to Tema booster station to improve water supply to Tema and surrounding communities. And we are spending a total of an IGF of 2.4 million to do this. We are replacing 4 pumps that were initially put out of service at the Tema booster station. We also are carrying out nationwide installation of automatic voltage regulators known as AVRs to stabilize power supply. We are also installing bulk meters and zonal metering to also account for the water that is produced. Rehabilitation of filters is ongoing, and this is to reduce water treatment losses to improve efficiency of water filtration process at the following production stations: Brimso Headworks in the Central Region, in Chabang Water Treatment Plant in the Western Region, Adam Clark at Weja in Greater Accra, and Kweve Headworks in the Volta Region. You can see from the presentation, yes, the process of replacing of pipelines at Chile, which is in the Katamanso municipality. We also have the replacement of old valves at Weja plant, treatment plant that we witnessed ourselves. We also have the underwater welding being carried out to repair damaged pipelines. With water resources management, Ghana currently, as I've said, we have billions of cubic meters of water per year. Yes, we are endowed, it's not per year, but we are endowed with this quantum of water, of natural fresh water, and as I've said, 14% is currently being utilized, both in privately, domestically, and industrially. But the rest we must protect. The integrity of this renewable freshwater resource endowment, together with the availability of groundwater at various geological locations, is constantly being threatened by irresponsible human activities, such as illegal mining, farming activities within buffer zones of water bodies, and the release of effluent into water bodies. The indiscriminate drilling of boreholes without permit is also a factor. People need to register with the Water Resources Commission before they drill boreholes, so that the water that gushes out can be tested for quality purposes. Because if you do not do it, you could have iron, fluoride, etc. in your water. You are encouraged to do that. The fee is very small, and the testing of the quality is free. Interventions to enhance water resources management includes routine water quality assessment, increasing the number of monitoring stations from 62 to 86. The ministry is collaborating with the UNESCO, as I've said, to undertake the assessment to determine the extent of water quantity and quality of groundwater resources in Ghana. At the World Water Forum, we saw the report that was given. The whole of West Africa has been earmarked for this exercise, and Ghana will be at the top of the list to make sure we make groundwater visible for us to know the quantum we have underground. Measures are continually being implemented with a view to improving the protection of our water bodies from unregulated activities of galamsey and illegal gravel sand winners. We are also mapping out hydrologically sensitive areas which are subject to degradation, erosion, drought, flooding, and pollution from human activities within forest reserves and other selected areas, such as the sources of rivers and wetlands, so as to provide information for decision making. Tree planting activities in response to the degradation along riverbanks is being carried out. The ministry, through the Water Resources Commission, is implementing and facilitating the creation of riparian buffer zones to restore the ecological health of degraded water bodies. The report of the 2021 populations census gives us a bird's eye view of the sanitation situation in this country currently. The report gives us a figure of 59.3, which is 3 in 5 households now have access to toilet facilities, with more than half of these households sharing improved toilet facilities. This shows an increment of 26.3% from the previous year's value of 33%. We have carried out an aggressive intervention to make sure we eradicate open defecation. Hence, the projects that have been successfully carried out in Accra, Greater Accra already. We've briefed on that last year, so not touch on this. If we'll do, it will be for information, reinforcement of information purposes only. This Gamma project is what I'm talking about. It's been a flagship project. It was able to produce over 35,000 household toilets, and we've taken note that since 2017 to now, no outbreak of cholera and dysentery in the Greater Accra region, and this is all due to the heightened sensibilities in our sanitation space. The project was so successful that it's being replicated in the metropolitan area. This project seeks to provide 30,000 household toilets and construct 120 disability-friendly, gender-sensitive institutional sanitation facilities for beneficiary schools in the Greater Kumasi metropolitan area. It's also to rehabilitate the Asafo sewage system in Kumasi. Works have commenced in all the beneficiary municipalities, which include Kumasi metropolitan area, Asokwa municipality, Tafo, Swame, Kwadaso, Asokore, Mampong, Furikrum, Ejuso, Kwabre East, Bosomche, Achema, Kwangoma, we chose Trede. And all these assemblies will be provided with household toilets. Additionally, the project will provide 12,000 and 30 beneficiary schools in the Greater Accra metropolitan area. The extra funding we had will also add 12,000 to the already 35,000 household toilets we've provided in Accra, and also add to the 406 institutional toilets that we have also provided in Accra. Under phase 1, as I've said, of the Gamma project, we were able to do 35,541 household toilets to low-income beneficiaries. And we also completed 406 disability-friendly school toilets with separate blocks for girls, boys, and also for teachers. We also want to stress the privacy that we provide to the girl child, very important, and water and soap also for hand washing, disposal systems to benefit 251,872 school pupils. In addition, supported the provision of a total of 56 kilometers conventional off-site simplified sewerage systems to serve 2 low-income urban communities in Accra, namely Ashama New Town Community, TDC Quarters, and Bankuman. These projects are ready for commissioning, and we have them up there, the Bankuman one, and then the Ashama New Town Community projects. I'll touch briefly on the launch of the biodigester toilet construction and installation manual. Under the Gamma project, the ministry, through the Gamma SWP, has developed a document to highlight the entire process of constructing and installing a biodigester in simple, plain, and easy to understand language with illustrations. This manual is expected to be useful to engineers, technicians, artisans, entrepreneurs, and institutions in the wash sector. And this was launched at the just ended engineers meeting at La Palm Hotel. You can see from here, it was done by the Minister for Sanitation and Water Resources. We also have the Garrett project, which is ongoing, and this project is constructing an engineered sanitary landfill and the materials recovery facility in the Ga West municipality. In addition, a transfer station is being constructed within the Ga East municipality. Furthermore, the dam site at Abokobi, those of us who know Abokobi quite well, we are going to cap this dam site. So we have decommissioned it virtually. The Greater Accra Sustainable Sanitation and Livelihood Improvement Project, which is known as GASLIP, is also ongoing. The ministry under the Greater Accra Sustainable Sanitation and Livelihood Improvement Project is constructing an additional 800 household toilet facilities to the initial 4,160 household toilet facilities constructed. In addition, 15-kilometer condominium sewers will be constructed in beneficiary communities. Additionally, 205 small motor-powered three-wheeled vehicles and 25 skip loaders and 50 skip containers are being procured for distribution to the beneficiaries of the beneficiary MMDAs. This is very important because this provides the linkage between the production of the waste and the transportation of the waste to either the transfer site or to the landfill site. We also have the integrated and recycling composting plants. Government, through the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources and in collaboration with the private sector, has initiated the process to provide integrated and recycling composting plants through public-private partnership arrangement in all the 16 regions of the country. Construction has commenced, and they are at different stages of completion. I must say that the Kumasi one has been completed, and it was commissioned by His Excellency the President, assisted by Otum Force to the second. Furthermore, government is also considering providing wastewater treatment plants in all the 16 regions of the country under the same arrangement. So you can see the presentations. We have the Asakai University. We have the projects at Sevurioso. We have the project at Sunyani. We have the project at Ho in the Volta region. We have the project at Dambai in the Uti region and Damango in the Savannah region. We also have the facility at Wa in the Upper West region, and we also have the facility at Bolga in the Upper East region. We have the Techiman Fiaso in the Bono East region. Then we have the Mankesim, the Central region. Then we have Goso in the Ahafu region. And I must say that our doors are open to the private sector entities that are willing and ready to do business with us. Government has started with the decommissioning and re-engineering of the landfill sites in the Greater Accra region and Oti in the Ashanti region. This is to transform and improve the management of municipal waste and the environmental conditions of the communities within which these sites are found. Currently, work done are 97% and 70% at Pung and Oti sites respectively. We'll see the before and after pictures. Yeah. We also want to encourage waste to energy, which will also take up when we reuse, recover, and recycle. What is left can be used to create energy, green energy. And there's a pilot project which has been constructed in the Atrimangwa South Municipality, in a town called Jankoba. The project is being funded by the German government at a cost of 6 million euro. The project is ready and is going to produce 400 kilowatts of energy, and it's ready for commissioning. We also have the management of fecal sludge. Through the African Development Bank, government has secured funding to undertake feasibility studies and engineering designs for fecal sludge management in 12 secondary cities across the country. And these cities are Wa, Aguna Swedru, Techiman, Nkoko, Hohoi, Bogatanga, Yendi, Sunyani, Konongo, Kufuridua, Takwa, and Dambai. Currently, evaluation report for the selection of consultants has been forwarded to the ADB for no objection to us. In conclusion, I wish to state that the Ministry of Sanitation and Water Resources will continue to provide the needed wash infrastructure, leadership and support to ensure that government's agenda for water and sanitation for all is achieved. I therefore wish to entreat the blessing of the Lord upon this great nation of ours, and I pray for the leadership of this nation, pray for His Excellency the President to lead us to the promised land, and ask that we all join forces and play our respective roles together with government to maintain a healthy environment, conserve, protect, and preserve our precious water resources. Thank you, and God bless us all. Ladies and gentlemen, another round of applause for the Honorable Minister. In fact, her presentation has been an eye-opener as I listened to the Honorable Minister talk about the various investments that government has made in the water sector and also to deal with issues of sanitation and hygiene. You realize that there is a direct correlation between issues of public health and also the kind of investments that the government has made. No wonder we've been able to bring COVID-19 pandemic under control. No wonder we no longer record many cases in relation to cholera and other diseases. It was also interesting to know that from the National Population and Housing Census data, as it stands now, we've been able to, in terms of water for household, we have as much as 87% coverage, 96% in urban areas, and also 74% in rural areas. I think that is very impressive, and I would like to thank the Honorable Minister and her team for the wonderful work done. I will now invite the media present to ask questions. If they have any questions, kindly raise your hand and then proceed to mention the name of your media house and also ask your question. And then we can go to the Honorable Minister to answer your questions. So if you have any question, okay, I can see 2 hands from the back. Okay, and we'll take the 3 here. So we'll take the 5 for the first round and then come back. So your name, media house, and then proceed to ask your question.
Okay. I work with the Chronicle newspaper, and when the minister was
Agnes.
Yes, please.
Okay.
She made mention of a house-to-house water audit after narrating the East Legon incident. I want her to throw more light on it. I want to know what it will entail. And my second question has to do with the statement that she made that the president would want every, I don't know if it's district or region, to have a water supply system. I want to know the time frame in which this would happen and also the money that they want to use for this. Thank you.
Okay, so you want more light thrown on the house-to-house water project, and also you want to know the number of water systems that this government is building, and also the cost. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So we'll take the next question.
Minister from Ghana News Agency. Only 14% of our fresh water is being used or getting access to it, with over 70% going waste, and this is very serious. And as the minister rightly said, encroachment, pollution, sound winning are some of the issues that we are grappling with. But I want to find out, she was just pleading that we should stop, and I think just pleading isn't enough. We need drastic measures, and so I want to find out whether the ministry has any drastic measures to deal with it so that we can use the quantum of water we have. Then 2, water hyacinth has become a very big issue. It's growing on Water Lake, and ECG has complained about this. I want to find out whether the government has any plans of dealing with water hyacinth situation. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll take John's question.
Okay, Kesvin. The minister spoke extensively about issues relating to the Gamma project and how it has helped to eradicate some issues relating to health, i.e. cholera and other related issues. I want to know, in terms of percentage, with this Gamma project and the toilets that the ministry has provided, what percentage of it has brought it to maybe, I just want to know the percentage, let me put it that way, since this Gamma project was started or initiated by her ministry.
Okay, so if I got your question,
yes,
the household access to toilets, she
yes.
mentioned that our coverage is at 59.3%.
Good.
You want to know Gamma project's contribution to that
exactly,
59.3%?
exactly. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll take the last two questions and then go to
Samuel and Bura join us. Now, we know the rains have just set in. Dredge Masters, a subsidiary of the Jospon Group, which has been dredging the Odo River, says it will have to return to the earlier phases it had already completed upstream to redredge, otherwise there may be trouble. Now, my specific question is there a specific waste collection and management response program from the ministry towards averting any possible disaster along the drain? And maybe with your oversight responsibility as a minister in charge of gender, there are reports that...
Please, can we stick to... Today she is here for sanitation and water resource. She has given us her brief. Let us limit the questions to today's ministry. Okay. Another time, if she comes here for gender ministry, then we will have clarity as to the direction the questions are going. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Oh. My name is Obed. I report for GH1 TV. So, Minister showed pictures of visiting Wija Headworks, where some people were sand-winning over there. I want to know the updates with that issue. What has been done to them? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for the question. So, okay, let's take the last one and then come to Honorable Minister.
My name is Sarah Apenkro from TV3. Minister, when you talked about the illegal connections and you gave the East Legon example, you also said you are considering starting house-to-house auditing. I want to find out specifically how far with discussions and when will this exercise commence, because I know illegal connection has been with us for years in this country. You also spoke about the integrated and recycling composting plants, which you said Kumasi is completed. You didn't give specific stages of completion for the other regions. But I also want to find out, is the ministry considering any policy towards mainstreaming compost produced to complement fertilizer needs of farmers, considering the fact that we are already having shortage of fertilizer with the Ukraine issue? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's it for the first. Thank you very much for the incisive questions. I want to start with the last one. When His Excellency the President was talking about the effects of the Ukrainian war unleashed by Russia, people were saying it's far-fetched. Now we know that 60% of our wheat is imported from Russia, and all our iron rod imports are from. So I'm happy that you've brought this fertilizer question up. Fertilizer now is not even easily obtainable. So it's in the right direction that we discuss organic waste being turned into compost. And we can, even in our homes, do this ourselves. Ghana's waste, I must say, according to the technical report I have, is 65% organic. And the rest, I have the pie chart here, which I brought along to share. And we have the composition of our waste. We produce 7.1 million tons of waste per year. And the composition, we have paper 3.62%, plastics 16.69%, organics, which I just spoke about, is 51.58. If we add paper and the rest, you can all be part of the compost. So we get the figure that I spoke about. We have glass 1.97%, metal 1.55%, aluminium 0.25%, and styrofoam 0.37%, textiles 3.19%, leather 1.2%, sanitary 4.68%, silt and fines, the fine sand that blows into our waste is also 14.9%, so 100%. So it's on us, and I will state here again that the private sector can take advantage of this and do what ESPA members, the Environmental Service Providers Association, some of them are into compost production. And like I said, if you bury organic waste in your house for 3 months, you get organic fertilizer. And we can do this. And also, there are countries that even import waste to be able to use some of these to create compost and other uses from the waste. We showed pictures of the various stages of the recycling plants. So I hope my colleague will remember those pictures. The house-to-house audit of water. I just had the idea this morning, and I have shared with the of Ghana Water Company Limited. The details will be worked out. We need to do this. We will not be afraid of those who put beware of wild dogs on their doors. We will go in there, find out, just to cross-check. I know most Ghanaians are honest, but the bad nuts amongst us must be exposed. Given the date, it's a secret date, because we don't want people to just look at the schedule, disconnect, and then connect when we are off. It will be a constant, sustainable way of making sure we reduce our non-revenue losses with regard to people who do illegal mining, illegal connections, and deny other people, other citizens of water. On the wager issue, the trip we made to wager, it was really, really, really pathetic. I asked the excavator driver to submit the keys to the machine. The keys are still with the chief director, and we are planning to move the excavator from the site. Already we have it as evidence. We've asked the actual owner to come forward. He has refused to come. We want to hand over the whole complaint, or we want to lodge a complaint with the police. And we have received the initial investigative reports, which we are studying. Whatever comes out will be put out. The rains have started, yes. The dredging of the Odo River is under the ambit of the Ministry of Works and Housing. And I know that my colleague is on top of the issue and handling the dredging aspect. We also have the Garrett project that will also help in alleviating the conditions there. The Gamma project, which was started in Greater Accra, has contributed 57% to the, with regard to the provision of household toilets. In fact, per the bylaws of the assemblies, every house should have a toilet. Every house should have a toilet. It beats my imagination that in this 21st century, we still have people with homes without toilets. That's why we have introduced the biodigesters. They need a small place to be fixed, and one can cater for, Engineer George, how many households? The biodigesters. People. I mean, one one installed in a small area. Okay, I think yes, 6 people. Good. So if you have 3 people, 2 homes can use one biodigester. And like I said, there hasn't been any outbreak. We are not yearning for a cholera or dysentery outbreak, God forbid. But we want to save lives. We want people to be healthy. Hence the washing of hands and making sure you have a toilet in your home. And I'm sure even after the project, the engineers are at hand and on hand to help families and homes that want to build some of these toilets in their homes. The water hyacinth in our lakes, this is under the auspices of the Volta River Authority. They from time to time dredge the Volta Lake. I think the Volta Lake has a high concentration of this water hyacinth, and they are responsible for that. The war on illegal mining is on. We know the president declared war. The war hasn't abated or hasn't been abated. It is on. But we still have stubborn people who are still engaging in this evil act. If I say that 14% of our 53.2 billion cubic meters of water is being used, it doesn't mean the rest is going to waste. The rest is there. It's fresh. It should be fresh, raw water. But where people suspect they are the only blessed people to go and disembowel water bodies is what beats my imagination. There is community mining, which is an intervention the government has brought to engage the youth who are interested in mining legally. What we are talking about is a percentage of our water bodies that is being destroyed. And I think the engineers and the Water Resources Commission checking on the turbidity of our water bodies should be able in the nearest future give us the quantum of water that we destroy through our evil ways. And the first question was on the auditing of the water we consume in our homes. I think we've spoken about it. And someone asked about the costs, the investment government has done in the provision of water, the intervention I listed out. Ghana Water Company alone, the 8 major projects, government has intervened with $740 million. For rural water, it's $1.2 million. So you know what government has done within this short time. And I must say, inshallah, if we're able to complete all these projects, we are adding 5 million people onto water supply. This is a great, great, great achievement, unprecedented in the history of this land. And we pray that this will come to pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, if you still have questions, we will take a last round. But if you don't, we will draw the curtain. Okay, I can see one hand here. Okay, and we will take one from the back.
My name is Salom. I work with the Finder newspaper. Minister, you said that the nation generates 7.1 million tons of waste annually. Could you tell us how much of this waste is being recycled? And with the coming on stream of the new plants you mentioned, how much are we expected as a nation to recycle going forward? And the industry is also a $200 billion industry. How much is the nation expected to earn once we start recycling in greater volumes? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. We'll take the last one from the back.
Please, you mentioned communities or areas such as Dabuase, Sechehiman, Wa, and others who have winning sand from the white and black voter. We were here when the sand and stone winning started, and we looked on and it has taken us by storm. I want to find out what interventions the ministry is put in place to curb this before it erodes us. You said we should be citizens and not spectators. If we don't become the citizens you are expecting, what is the ministry going to do to ensure these particular activities are kept fast? Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Okay, I'll take the third one.
Yes, thank you once again. My name is John Awuni Kesben. The pictures the Honorable Minister showed in the destruction of water bodies by these Galamsey operatives, I want to know how current that pictures are, because I know there's an ongoing fight against the Galamsey in Ghana.
Okay, thank you. I take that to be the last question. Okay, so we'll go to the Honorable Minister for her response.
Yes, the first one was on 7.1 million waste. Which percentage do we recycle? I must say, with the chart I read out, some of this waste, when they are collected, can be reused. Because I remember when I met the sorters of waste, I met the association, the executives, and they were saying that there are people who can give them a call and tell them, I'm changing everything in my house. Bring a truck and take everything. That is part of the waste, but it's for reuse. Then we have the plastics that we have messy handling because we want to add value to the plastics. As to the actual percentages, I don't have the figures, because we have the private sector in this space. And for the plants that we are collaborating with the private sector, just one group of companies and other smaller, medium ones that will be interested in collaborating with us. For instance, the Kumasi waste plant has a capacity of 1,200 tons per day. We have plants that are 400 to 600 tons, and we have private ones that are 200 tons. So we've started our rounds and checking out some of these recycling plants. We have people who are exporting pellets. The PET bottles are semi-recycled into pellets, and these are exported outside for people to use them to manufacture other items as well. The earnings from recycling, like I said, the recycling space is mainly by the private sector. What government does is to have an agreement with them so that we can send our waste there. The recycling or the materials they get from these are quite, I'll say, quite not the figure that will even pay for the plant cost of the plants. That's why government subsidizes when we use these plants to get rid of the waste, to create the necessary sanitary health for our people. So the costs, they vary from the quantum of waste that is recycled. Some are recycled into products like chairs and plates, etc., that can be sold. We all know the cost of these items. And for instance, if we do not eradicate open defecation and people are still using their black bags, it's good this thing has come up. We don't need these things in recycling link. We need to separate fecal matter from solid waste. So this is the picture we have. The sand and stone winning. If I could remember, governments, Mr. Ampoma, governments for the first time in the history of this nation took the initiative to dredge the White Volta, and the quantum of dredged material that we took out was about equivalent of 27,000 tipper trucks. And we gave all these to the communities en route to use for whatever. We did not sell this to them. This was a social intervention. So why to go back and win sand indiscriminately beats our imagination. Despite that, the Dalong intake, for instance, they had put stones into the river so that the trucks could drive over to the other side. They've built their own man-made bridge. But I think we have given instructions for the stones to be put on the banks of the river to serve as buffer, and for the river course to be re-established. Like I said, it's in the hands of the regional security forces, and we are collaborating with them. The ministry itself will always make sure that we monitor our sources and take the necessary action in collaboration with the security. It's not only Ghana Water Company or the ministry, but it's a collective effort that we are using. And with regard to the pictures, some are, or I'll say most of them, regarding the turbidity of the water and the color, most of them are current. What is happening is that you could go there in the morning, it is okay, the turbidity is okay, the water is fairly clear. But you go there early, very, very early in the morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., it will be muddied because of nocturnal activities. So this is what the situation is. The turbidity levels are checked during the day, and at times this is what we have. So it depends on what to the river. If the river is agitated, definitely you have this brown or palm nut soup type of thickness for the turbidity. But we hope this will stop. Thank you.
That brings us to the end of today's press briefing. I would like to thank the Honorable Minister responsible for sanitation and water resources, her deputy, and all the distinguished guests who made time to join us this morning. I wish you a safe ride back to your offices or wherever your final destination may be. Good morning.
Yeah. Go toilet to bush. When you win near Casadia shush. We are sending BBM may push Gamma Sanitation, no water my push. Yes, TFE, Sabini Ufia, 1,002, ye be to be now what we are. Health is world, brother to be my when we are, mammy. What you and him only down here. Uja when I run Safa Samena, keep environment clean, me for Pamela, I know power, sorry, toilet with the queue, so who will be of ya? It's a bit time, Oti show with your combine puano. And when you deal with your doya de pania buano. Motobola guga temaya betiamo. Mudi muhunia na nenya mi wishramo. benefiting municipal.